So Don Cherry has officially been fired by Rogers. He will no longer host Hockey Night in Canada, something that he has been doing since 1981, much longer than I've been alive. I can remember growing up, every Saturday I would turn on Hockey Night in Canada, specifically to see what type of crazy suit that Don Cherry would be wearing this Saturday night, and then obviously watch the hockey games. But this was something that I kind of saw coming after the comments that he made. If you are unfamiliar with what happened, I'll go over the comments that he made real quickly. These comments made by Don Cherry were in reference to immigrants that he saw in his hometown of Mississauga, Ontario, not wearing poppies for Remembrance Day. He would say, "You people, you love our way of life, you love our milk and honey, at least you can pay a couple bucks for a poppy," or something like that. He also went on to say, "These guys paid for your way of life that you enjoy in Canada. These guys paid the biggest price." Now obviously, as everybody knows that is familiar with Don Cherry, he's very old school and he's very outspoken. He is going to speak his mind, and this definitely wouldn't be the first time that he offended numerous people with some of the comments that he made. And I feel like it's not about what he said here, it's about how he said it, and it's mainly the part where he said "you people," referencing immigrants and referring to them as different than us, I guess. And obviously Canada, prides itself on being different, having people from all over the world, welcoming everybody, and him saying "you people" kind of divides the country, and I feel like that is the biggest problem with what Don Cherry actually had to say. Me personally, I didn't have a huge problem with his initial comments. Obviously that's the way he feels. People should wear a poppy on Remembrance Day. Like, okay, I'm fine with that. It's just how he said "you people," kind of referencing them and, singling them out and saying that they're different from other people in our country. And obviously that isn't going to go over well, especially in today's society where everything you say is deeply criticized, and he has such a huge platform that his comments do reach thousands, millions of people. And the backlash that he got on social media after these comments, it really shouldn't be a huge surprise to many that he was fired and is no longer the host of Coach's Corner on Hockey Night in Canada, because people were freaking out about this on social media. All of the apologies that came out, the video of Ron McLean on Hometown Hockey apologizing, on his behalf and also on the behalf of Don Cherry, and how that isn't what Sportsnet stands by and all that type of stuff. And people really didn't accept those apologies at all. Everyone was saying it does nothing if you continue to give Don Cherry the platform to make comments like this and offend so many people on such a grand stage. I mean, Hockey Night in Canada, basically everybody in Canada tunes in on Saturday night to see who's playing, check the score, watch Coach's Corner and stuff like that. It's been a staple in hockey fans' routine for as long as I can remember. I mean, every Saturday I'm tuning into Hockey Night in Canada and, see Don Cherry on the screen. And again, this isn't the first time that he has said something that offended so many people, but it's never been this bad. And the backlash online and just the backlash from everybody in general, it really isn't a surprise that Don Cherry was relieved of his duties with Hockey Night in Canada. And I'm kind of curious to see what happens from here. How is Don Cherry going to be involved with the game? Maybe in the NHL Network or something like that, but honestly I'm not quite sure. Maybe this is it for Don Cherry. Maybe he is not going to be on our televisions anymore involving anything around the NHL. Honestly, I think something else is going to come up and we will see Don Cherry have a new role, but I just don't really know. I don't usually make videos on controversial topics like this, but I wanted to kind of give my opinion, and if you guys haven't heard, kind of just break the news to some people, and especially I wanted to hear your guys' opinion on this. So I really encourage you guys to go down in the comment section, be vocal on this. How do you feel about it? Do you think Don Cherry was 100% in the wrong, which I definitely feel like most people will say, and he was. The "you people" part of it, definitely not acceptable, but the other part of his comments, I didn't really have a problem with that. So I'm honestly curious to hear how you guys feel. Are you in the same boat as me? Do you think just the entire thing was way too discriminatory to have on television, or do you think that Sportsnet made the wrong move by letting Don Cherry go? I'm very curious to hear you guys' thoughts. And one last thing before I finish out the video, I want to know if you guys think Don Cherry should be given another chance in a different role. Like I said, maybe have a segment on the NHL Network or something like that where it isn't on such a big scale like Hockey Night in Canada is. So I don't know, or maybe just they really give him a stern talking to and say you can't say stuff like this, just stick to hockey and try to keep everything else out of it. I know he was just trying to honor the people that fought for our country, and obviously he should. And again, for me personally, I didn't have a problem with what he was trying to say, and I feel like he was just trying to say that everybody in our country, no matter if you're an immigrant or if you're a person that was already in Canada, born in Canada and stuff like that, should pay $2 to wear a poppy on Remembrance Day to remember the people that fought for our country. But his choice of words was definitely pretty awful, and that is ultimately what led to him being fired by Sportsnet. So that is going to wrap up today's video. It's kind of a first for me talking talking about something controversial like this, but I wasn't going to make a video on his original comments unless something like this happened in which he was fired, because obviously that is huge news for just the hockey world in general. So I do encourage you guys to make sure to go down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on everything, and have some conversations with other people down there as well.